These pictures is the Mongolia social network platform Bainu in China, but on August 23, Chinese authorities shut down Bainu, the only Mongolian language social media site in China. Bainu hosts about 400,000 users in Inner Mongolia, and about the closure of Bainu, the complaints of Mongolians were at their peak. The Mongolian population in China is 5.8 million, which is larger than in Mongolia, which has 3.17 million people. And about 68% of the Mongols live in Inner Mongolia, scattered across China, including Liaoning, Jilin, Xinjiang, and Qinghai. The Communist Party of China has also launched anti-cultural operations in the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, Tibet, and this time in the Inner Mongolia. It is to ban their language in every school classes in Mongolian Autonomous Region. In July, the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region Office of Education issued a directive to remove Mongolian language from the bilingual curriculum. It is an instruction to open a national ethnic course for small schools and to educate language, history, and politics in Chinese characters in middle schools. These guidelines apply from the fall semester in 6 regions, including Inner Mongolia, Gansu, Jilin, Liaoning, Qinghai, and Sichuan. And Mongolian residents are strongly opposed about this. Even last weekend, all of the Mongolian books began to be collected from government. There was even a video where local police seized the book and products containing Mongolian at store. And people in Inner Mongolia immediately protested, and thousands of residents held daily demonstrations outside the school. Parents also campaigned against the classes, saying they would not send their children to school. Students and parents' protests took place simultaneously in major Inner Mongolia cities such as Tunglao, Aldos, and Huthut. From there, they sang and shouted in Mongolian. Mongolian students trying to get out of the school, and police officers trying to stop them confront each other, but in the end, more students knocked down the gate and left the school. Among them, several teachers and parents who were protesting were arrested by the Chinese Communist Party. Also in the other school, the Chinese police had locked the students in and forced them to study in Chinese, but they escaped with the help of the teacher. According to the New York-based NGO South Mongolian Human Rights Information Center, hundreds of activists have been detained or placed under house arrest in Inner Mongolia. Also, some students and parents have been assaulted by police. The Mongols speak Mongolian at home, and at school they have taken lessons in Chinese and Mongolian. The abolition of the bilingual education, which the Chinese government has done to treat minorities, is the same as a cultural extermination. Unlike the Uyghur, the Mongols are not much different from the Chinese people in appearance. That's why their language is their only identity. Therefore, if language is abolished this time, within one generation, all Mongolians will become a complete Han Chinese. As of 2017, the Han Chinese population was 1.3 billion, accounting for about 92% of the population of whole China. One Mongolian said in an interview with the Southern Mongolia Human Rights Information Center, Inner Mongolia has quickly become a police state again in the past few days as the tension rises between the governments and the ethnic Mongolians who are about to be deprived of their last symbol of national identity, the Mongolian language. Mongolians in the Inner Mongolia adhere to the traditional Mongolian characters. It is different from Mongolia where using the Russian Kirill alphabet. There is a reason why China calls Mongol separately as Inner Mongolia and Outer Mongolia. China's perception is that today's Mongolia was also passed over because of the Russia, but eventually that Mongolia is the land of China that must be restored. Russia, Mongolia, and China recognized Mongolia's sovereignty through the June 1915 agreement. And in 1945, Zhang Jie signed a China-Russia Friendship Treaty with the Soviet Union. However, in October of the same year, Outer Mongolia decided its independence with overwhelming approval of 97.8% through the referendum and was officially established as a Mongolia. Mongolians call Chinese people as Huaji, which means untrustable people. The word Huaji means a trading party in the dialect of Shanxi province. Huaji. It is known that this word, which Mongolians use in hatred of Chinese, originated from the behavior of a merchant in Shanxi province. During the Qing dynasty, merchants in China's Shanxi province were known to have swindled the Mongolians through monopoly in the trade with Mongolian. And since then, traditionally, Mongolians did not like the Chinese. On the evening of August 30, one angry student jumped out of the building and died after his mother was beaten by police. So protests in front of the middle school in the city of Tunglao spread further. The Mongolians will not watch the national culture disappearance. I will protect Mongolia with my life. Teachers have shouted and some residents have suggested for simultaneous demonstrations in more than 10 major cities. For this reason, the city of Tunglao imposed an evening curfew, and video of the army armored vehicle unit police buses moving was filmed too. Unlike Hong Kong, the large-scale protest in Inner Mongolia is a little bit different. Students actively participate, local artists, singers, and scholars joined too, and also government officials such as Education Ministry officials and uniformed police officials participated in the protest. In addition, 300 staff of Inner Mongolia radio and TV signed a petition to oppose the Chinese government decision. Xin Haiming, chairman of the Inner Mongolia People's Party who defected to Germany, also criticized the behavior of the China and even made remarks about Mongolia's independence. Language is the most basic right of the people, and China is accelerating the control of the Mongols with language deprivation techniques, and even making young students as enemy. All the residents of Inner Mongolia have set out to protest, which will make Mongolians realize their national identity and national consciousness, and even constitutional independence. Even former Mongolian President Chayagin Elbektorji supported the protest of Inner Mongolia and urged Mongolians from all over the world to join. Losing a language is like losing a head. I strongly support the Inner Mongolia movement to save the Mongolian language. No matter where you live, all Mongolians should join this movement. This backlash from the Mongols could cause a chain reaction from other ethnic minorities. China is already facing international isolation due to the cover-up of the Wuhan pneumonia and the suppression of Hong Kong. But now they are creating a new problem again with the Mongolian people. In this situation, consciousness Chinese overseas are quoting Martin Niemöller's poems with changing words. When the Uyghur people were persecuted, we stood by and said they were pagan and terrorist. We sat on the sidelines even when the liberalization protests took place in Hong Kong. And now China's human liberty restraints have reached us. A society that doesn't respect diversity will not admit to being different. If we don't recognize the difference, we will become a society where only one voice is recognized. A society where only one voice is recognized will naturally decline and gone. And now, China is walking to that society. Thanks for watching. Be safe.